Hello, I'm Vaishali Kohli and you're watching NewsX. Now viewers, Delhi's worsening air quality has once again hit home for many residents this week. The air quality in the national capital deteriorated further today, with the air quality index near AIIMS and surrounding areas touching 421, placing it in the severe category. According to data from the Centre for Pollution Control Board, the worsening air quality comes after Saturday's citywide average AQI stood at 245, which falls under the poor category. And now, I have Professor Dr. G.C. Khilnani, who is the chairman PSRI Institute of Pulmonary Critical Care and Sleep Medicine. Now, my first question, Dr. Khilnani, to you is that you've advised those with chronic lung or heart diseases to leave Delhi for 6 to 8 weeks. How severe is the current pollution crisis compared to previous years, and what prompted such a strong advisory this time?
Northern India has been, especially in Indo-Gigantic region, has been a routine. And there have been times when the PM 2.5 have crossed 1000. I am talking about 2014, 2015. It's not that this year the air pollution has been extraordinarily high during Diwali time. If at all, it has been slightly on the lower side, and the data would speak for it. And I have been grossly misquoted in saying that people should leave Delhi. That is not true. But there is a section of people with chronic lung disease which I see who are continuously on oxygen, and they should avoid exposure to outdoor air pollution. That was the idea. And if some of the retired people have their homes in Himachal Pradesh or the areas where they have extra houses where they can go and spend and have some holidays, they can prefer to go outside Delhi. I never meant to say that the Delhi should migrate to the less polluted area. So let it be very clear that only those people who are severely ill with chronic lung disease requiring oxygen at home and who have exacerbation of symptoms. The purpose of saying is that there is a distinctly increase in the respiratory failure cases, there is a distinctly increase in the pneumonia cases, there is a distinctly increase in the ICU admissions with respiratory failure that we see every year. So, if I could summarize it, that my utterances have been misquoted grossly, and only small section of people may consider going to a.
All right, Dr. Khilnani, I'm glad you've clarified that. And now my second question to you is that you mentioned that nearly half of COPD cases today are caused by air pollution rather than smoking. Could you elaborate on how particulate matter specifically damages the lungs over time?
So, what is particulate matter? Particulate matter is the aerodynamic diameter of 2.5, what is called as PM 2.5 or PM 10. Now, the particles which are less than PM 10 micron, they go into the lung and they do not go into the lowest part of the respiratory tract, whereas PM 2.5 particles will go into the lowest part of the lung and cause damage. Now, these are constituted by, it's not a one entity. Now, particulate matter from the diesel vehicle will be different, particulate matter from the dust, house dust will be different, particulate matter from the construction site would be different, particulate matter from the firecrackers will be different. But this is a measurement which tells us that this much amount of harmful substances are going into the lung. They cause increase in asthma symptoms, they cause bronchitis, they cause COPD, and there are data to show that previously 80 to 90% of COPD was caused by only tobacco smoking. Currently, 40 to 50% of COPD in India is caused by outdoor as well as indoor air pollution.
All right, now Delhi's AQI levels often cross 400 during this season, Dr. Khilnani. From a medical standpoint, what are the immediate steps people should watch out for, even in those without pre-existing respiratory illnesses?
When the AQI crosses 400 or 300 or even higher, the people who do not have any respiratory or cardiac illnesses, they generally will have sore throat, running nose, tightness in the chest, feeling little unwell, little feeling feverish, having sleep disturbances, even the appetite goes down, the general well-being is not there. But that's not very serious. But those who have pre-existing lung disease, they have increase in their requirement of inhalers. Then instead of inhalers, they go on a nebulization. Quite often they keep taking antibiotics and cough syrups without any benefit. Quite a few will require corticosteroids for control of their symptoms. During this time, the hospital admissions with respiratory illness and ICU admission also increase, and that the same is being seen by us also in our hospital.
All right, now the Air Quality Life Index report says air pollution shortens life expectancy by over 10 years in NCR cities. So what long-term public health measures should the government prioritize to reverse this trend?
The Chicago study, which published in 2023, estimated that average life expectancy of Indians go down by 5.3 years and Delhiites by a staggering 11.9 years. This study also showed that improving the air quality, as was happened in Beijing, China, increased their life expectancy by 2.2 years. So there is sufficient evidence that if you improve the air quality, the morbidity as well as the longevity would increase. So for that we need to find out the sources of air pollution. And main sources of air pollution in Delhi and also NCR and also northern India are vehicular air pollution, the road dust, the burning of fossil fuels, municipal waste burning, even the tandoors. There are 9,000 tandoors around in Delhi NCR which are working on coal and wood. Equally important is electric thermal power stations, which are majority of them are running on coal, and although they are not based in the Delhi NCR, they are outside Delhi, but because of the wind flow, the pollution comes to the rest of the area also. It's in fact whatever the thermal powers are there in 300 kilometers distance from the Delhi NCR, that affects the Delhi air quality also. So therefore all these things should be controlled. That includes reducing the number of vehicles, improving the fuel quality to BS6, controlling the road dust by vacuum cleaning 4 times in a month, occasionally washing the roads, strictly implementing the construction and demolition norms which are well known, and all these are suggested by a study done by Dr. Mukesh Sharma and Dr. Dikshit from IIT Kanpur, and it is a published study actually.
And with that, Dr. Khilnani, I'd like to thank you for joining me on the broadcast. And viewers, that's it from me on this bulletin. Stay tuned to NewsX for more news and updates.